Are you trying to think of ways to get more people to the conference that you're organizing? I just finished up Rent Manager's user conference, and they did a really good job in bringing people to the conference, and they actually came up with a really interesting way of getting some of the attendees to get the approval from their bosses to go. And I'm going to share this with you right now. It is super cool, actually. Months leading up to the conference itself, Rent Manager sent out a few emails titled ways to get your boss to, or actually they phrase it as a pitch letter to help you convince your boss that sending you to the Rent Manager user conference is a great idea. And let me go over this letter. And it's titled Discover What You've Been Missing at RMUC25. RMUC stands for Rent Manager User Conference. And the 2025 User Conference in San Diego is your opportunity to chart a course for career growth with a curated lineup of expert-led sessions. And I was actually on one of the sessions. I was one of the panelists on the commercial industry discussion and cutting-edge strategies. RMUC 25 is the perfect place to gain insights and skills that will set you apart from your company, or sorry, will set you and your company apart in property management. Rent Manager is a property management software that we just started using a couple years ago, and it's very good. If you want more info on it, put a comment down below or shoot me a DM. Need help getting your supervisor on board? We've created a pitch letter template that highlights the key benefits of RMUC 25 so you can show why attending is a smart investment in your career and your company's success. And then it has this button, download our pitch letter, which is very clever. So this isn't just about attending a conference, it's about investing in your professional development and bringing fresh perspectives back to your team. Don't miss out. Register for RMUC 25 today and secure early bird pricing. Register now with the call to action button below. So let me just pause right there before getting into the actual pitch letter because I also do have that. And you know, when you're deciding where to spend your marketing dollars or your education dollars, which this could be a little bit of both. A lot of times conferences, your marketing, especially if you're on the vendor side, or this is in this particular case, it's a lot of education. But in most conference cases or any in-person type of event cases, there's always networking events. So you can always make the most out of these events, even if it's not designed for networking by doing some networking. And at the very end, in the closing remarks, someone asked, one of the presenters asked, raise your hand if you met someone that was a great connection that you really got a lot out of through a conversation, and everybody raised their hands. At the Rent Manager User Conference, they had 1,300 attendees. They've been doing this for about 17 years, and they sent 61 of their own people there. They also had about 30, a little bit over 30 separate sponsors, which is a great way to underwrite this event. But look, I think that in almost all cases, there needs to be a value demonstrated because it's not inexpensive. In this particular case, or I don't know what, you know, if you're doing an event yourself, in this particular case, the cost was, I want to say, is a little bit over $1,000 for 2.5 days. But then I flew from Florida to California, where this is at, and the cost of the airfare was probably somewhere between $500 and $1,000. And then it's occurring at the Gaylord Pacific Resort and Convention Center, which is really nice. It's right on the water. I'll post a quick video of that. But the cost of the hotel was, you know, I think it's like $1,500. So all in all, you're talking about $3,500, maybe, you know, just under $4,000. So the question is that going to be worth it? Why, you know, and not only is it the money, but it's also the time that you're out of the office. So is it justified? Well, you know, I don't want to be a spoiler, so let's look at the pitch letter and see what Rent Manager and their marketing team and their events team put together to try to pitch your boss or when I say you, I'm assuming I'm talking to someone that's trying to put together an event and get more people there. But let's say, how do they get the people that you're targeting to attend your event to come to your event? Let's check it out. All right, let's dive into this letter. I think this letter, they did a great job. So immediately I'm looking over on the right-hand side and they have a approximate breakdown of conference costs. So they included the airfare, which I stated, I think I spent maybe $700 or something like that. I did upgrade to extra leg room. I'm flying like 6 to 8 hours because there's no direct flight, so I need to have a little bit of comfort. So that was that. And then transportation round trip from airport to hotel. See, that's very good. I think my Uber was about 40 bucks. So each way you're talking about 80 bucks, but then uh, the cost for me to get from my home to the airport to come here was another, it'll be another, maybe 40 bucks. So we're talking about 120. 120 plus the 700, and you're already at 820. The they go over the cost of the board, which is 369 a night. Um, I got here on Monday night or Sunday night. Sorry, I got here Sunday night. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, so 3 nights. But then you have resort fees and there's taxes as well. So I think it was ended up being about 14 or $1,500. So now you're already at $2,400. And then the early bird registration, which is 845. So now you're at oh my gosh, you're at 32 and change. Uh, let's see, I didn't do the VIP pass, but I think maybe it's worth it. There is a scripting boot camp and some other stuff. I did the Premier Social event, which is pretty awesome for $150. So now what is that? I think that's at 3,500 in total. But the Premier Social event, what $150 bought you was that you got onto the Midway, which is an aircraft carrier that has been decommissioned into more of a museum, and that's right off the coast or right off the port thing. So it's transportation there. They had dinner, they had drinks, and they had this amazing band called Liquid Blue that just rocked the night, and it was awesome. You had tours and you had all sorts of fun stuff there, and then rent manager certification. So I would have put here, call it 30. What did I say? 32, $3,300, and then it goes into the actual request. So I don't think I've read this in a while, so this is going to be new to me as well. So it starts off, hello, I'm writing to request approval to attend the 2025 Rent Manager User Conference in San Diego, California, from October 5th to the 8th. Rent Manager 2025 will include 3 days of seminars, hands-on training, and networking opportunities with more than 1,200 other attendees from across North America. The event offers 8 different educational programming tracks, which will enable me to tailor my experience to focus on fill in the blank. So it could be focus on accounting, focus on property management, focus on asset management, any focus on tenant communications, or just accounts payable maybe. In my case, commercial real estate industry or shopping center industry. RMUC 2025 will give me an exclusive preview of new Rent Manager features and capabilities and grant me access to sessions to improve our business and utilization of the software. And the software is not inexpensive. So using this to get more ROI on the software itself, that by itself might be worth it. Uh, I'll have I'll also have the opportunity to meet one-on-one with industry experts, rent manager employees, and other property management professionals. Building these kinds of relationships is a irreplaceable experience that can benefit our operations for years. And this is actually true. I was able to meet with a couple of other people in the commercial real estate industry. I would say that the majority of people were in multifamily or manufactured housing, but I did meet at least a dozen or so people in commercial real estate, and some people I've been speaking with for a few years now that have helped me out quite a bit, and I feel like those relationships are irreplaceable and can benefit us for years to come. I'm confident that attending the Rent Manager User Conference will help me better understand how to maximize our Rent Manager usage to make our business more efficient. See, more efficient beyond the practical software skills I'll gain. I'm looking forward to networking with industry peers, and learning how they'll tackle today's property management challenges. Sincerely, Hugh Chen, Saglo Companies. Thank you, and I look forward to the opportunity to attend RMUC25. Wow, that's great. So I think that the way that this letter is crafted is right on point. It touches a lot of the key metrics here. Could you zoom in and learn this stuff through Zoom? Sure, but maybe it's not going to be as, doesn't stay with you as long. So the letter focused a lot on the networking and on the face-to-face. And I got to meet the CEO of Rent Manager. His name's Dave. He was awesome. And the COO. Her name's Brittany. And then I met a ton of other leaders of the company, and they were all extremely helpful. So I think having that face-to-face relationships makes a world of difference. And I think that focusing on that, on how these relationships, as they're built, don't last just a moment in time. They can last for years. And what you learn talking face to face, as opposed to, if you're on a Zoom, you're just seeing people on the screen, and you'd have to put it in the chat or something. Nobody wants to do that. What you learn from talking can, by itself maybe be worth more than the $3,200. So I think this is great. But also, you do learn better utilization of the software. There are sessions. Once you're there in person and you're sitting in front of the expert, you do retain the information a lot better. So I think this is a great way of maybe. I think this is great. So I think that if you are putting together an event and you're trying to figure out some interesting ways to get more people to come, the gatekeepers of the person that decides who gets to go is probably who you want to try to convince, and giving the people that you want to go the ammunition to get to the decision maker to, say yes, I think is a great strategic and a great marketing move. Plus, it was just really fun the way that they put it together. Anyways, I hope you found this helpful. My name's Hugh Chen. I'm president of Saglo Companies. We own shopping centers across Florida and Georgia. I've been in the business 25 years, so just sharing some of my knowledge and just some general thoughts. Thanks. Have a good one.
Retail in paradise. Yeah, the vibe is so real. Optimizing strip centers. That's the art of the deal. Stacking the NOI, watching the value climb, putting retailers in the perfect spot every single time. Always repeat, it's the strategy we bring. Retail in paradise. Always within reach. Monday starts early, a different kind of grind. 6:30 a.m. time to feed the soul and mind at the higher call breakfast. Get the spirit right before